Good morning everybody. Sorry about the use of my phone to record this video this morning, but check out this behind me. Basically what you can see is all that frost and basically all that woodland behind me covered in hoarfrost. And I just thought that this area here had a bit of potential for photography this morning. I don't know if it's actually going to work at all, to be quite honest with you. I've brought my camera out and I've run out of memory on the memory card, so I've put an old memory card in which has got plenty of space left on it. But as I've started recording video, the camera has stopped recording automatically because the memory card has got a slow write speed on it. So unfortunately I can't record straight to my camera at the moment. Whether that's going to be the case again with photos or not, I don't know until I try and take a photo. So this could be a complete dud, a damp squib, or a very cold damp squib, to be honest with you. So if this comes out alright, then I hope you like today's vlog and all the images I'm about to show you. And if you do, please remember, give the video a thumbs up, and also remember to subscribe to my channel. I don't know whether this is going to work or not at all, but I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to move on and see if I can find a spot where I can take some photos, and I'll show you those in just a moment. So I have some really interesting areas around here where there's quite a few trees, but also quite a few leaves obviously, and we've got a mixture of hoarfrost on the trees and on the leaves and on the branches, but also we've got a little bit of snow where we've had some very light snow flurries over the last 10 to 14 days or so. There's really not very much snow at all, but every now and then I'm spotting areas where there's just that little bit more. That's creating quite a nice interesting effect with the hoarfrost that's on all the surfaces as well. So I'm going to try and stop and capture a few photos of that today. Hopefully these will work out. Walking along this path, I've just come out into an area where there's a bit of an opening, and as you can see I've got this evergreen tree just behind me. Now obviously that's still very, very green, but everything on the ground beneath it and around it is all white because of the very light snow flurries and the very heavy hoarfrost that we've had over the last few days. So I'm going to try and stop here and capture an image of that tree amongst the white that's all around it, and I hope that works quite well for you. There are quite a lot of ferns on the ground behind me just here, which are obviously covered in the hoarfrost and the light snow flurries that we've had. But also just in amongst these ferns you've got these little trees here that are just sticking up from the ground, and I think they make quite an interesting composition. If I just get the 70 to 300mm lens out and zoom in onto a couple of those clusters of trees and see if I can capture the detail of those trees themselves. They look absolutely fantastic, all white, against that backdrop of colour behind. So I think what I'm going to try and do is set up another shot just here. I haven't actually walked anywhere at all, I've just taken that last shot and had another look at the scene, which is something I recommend doing every single time you go out, to be quite honest with you. I've said before that you miss shots if you don't just take a few minutes to look at what you've got in front of you. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of minutes, just checking out exactly what's in the scene and where I can make a composition with what's going on around in the scene. So I'll set this one up and then I'm going to move on. I've just stopped here because I want to show you just how heavy and intense that hoarfrost was last night and how it looks now. I'm I've got a little spot just here where I want to get the 50mm lens out and focus in really close on kind of a branch just here, and see if I can capture that and show you how crystalline and strong that frost is on the branches. So I hope you like this image as well. I don't know how well that worked. I've had to try several different shots with portrait and landscape orientation, and focusing on different parts of that little bit of branch that I was trying to focus on, just to see if I could get a decent image of the branches of that little bit of tree just there, with all the ice crystals formed on the side of the branches. It's a very interesting one. I think it works. I hope you like it. I'm going to move on and see if I can find something better now. I'm going to tell you guys, this is an abject lesson in how disorganisation can ruin your photography. The latest news is that the camera does seem to be recording right in the images to the memory card itself. It is a slow process because obviously the memory card has a slow write speed. However, it does seem to be working. I've checked a few of the photos on the back of the camera and they are turning out, so thankfully the camera is recording images and I've got my phone to record the video footage. I think it's going to work out alright, but like I say, this is all about disorganisation today and how I should have been more organised and got myself a proper memory card sorted. But never mind, I'll learn that lesson for the future. So I found myself next to another frozen pond that you can see just behind me. My first piece of safety advice, of course, is don't go anywhere near it. I'm standing a good 10 feet away from the edge of the water and I'm not going any closer. There are other people around, but sadly this is a very dangerous place to be. Obviously if I go any closer to the water's edge, there's a possibility I could go into the water, and there's also a possibility I might not get pulled out in time to allow me to survive. Very sad incident last week where 4 young boys were playing on the ice on a pond very similar to this one and went into the pond and they didn't survive, all 4 of them. And obviously we don't want that to happen. So as I say, I'm not going to go too close to this, but I just love the pond itself and the way it's the beauty of it and the way it's frozen. You can see just how heavy the frost is in the middle of that pond there, and then I've got these 2 clusters of reeds or grasses just sticking up towards the edge of the pond, and then behind that there's this kind of S-curve around the edge of the pond that I quite liked. So I've captured an image of that S-curve and these grasses or reeds behind me and a little bit of the frozen pond behind that as well. I think it's quite an interesting one, but I think that is probably going to be my final image of the day, folks. If you've enjoyed this vlog and you want to see a little bit more, then please remember to give the video a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.